So, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Azure Takeoff show. And today again we have Tashwar with us. Hi Tashwar, how are you?
Hi, team. How are you? I'm good.
Great, I'm doing good as well. So Tashwar, we have seen a lot of platform as a service and the compute part of the service, right? Now we wanted to understand what we can learn new today. Tell me more about it.
Sure, sounds good. So I was actually thinking about Copilot is everywhere. Like you talk about Copilot all the time. I wanted to talk about how do you actually could use Copilot without any code, pretty much, to automate certain things. So I'll start with a very simple example. Let's just assume that you have some data in an Excel spreadsheet, and you need to remind people of doing certain things. Okay. So you don't want to go through the Excel spreadsheet and email each person and say, "Hey, did you take out the trash? Did you wash the dishes?"
Yes,
and all that stuff. You don't want to do that. Like it's time consuming. Why don't we automate the boring stuff? It's boring. Like let's be
correct,
honest. This is
100%.
very very boring stuff that it could be automated in a way that actually it could be one email just to email the person to say, "Hey, I'm checking in to see if you completed this project or not." Now that makes you think about as developers we usually think about how can I do this in like a language, for example, using like
Yes,
C sharp, Python, Java, whatever sort of thing. But there is a different way too to doing it without you knowing code, which is the low code, which is actually Power Automate. So today I
amazing.
wanted to give an example of like how to do this in Power Automate, but use Copilot at the same time. Because you might not know what Power Automate could do, but if you know a bit of programming or how the structure works, you could technically use Power Automate to do a lot of the stuff. So today's demo is going to be like using Power Automate to automate an Excel spreadsheet and email out people. Basically, that's pretty much it. It's a very simple
Amazing.
task, and it's very very helpful. I find so it's good to use. So let's switch on to my. I'm going to share my screen to go to an Excel first. So this is an Excel spreadsheet. It's blank right now. There's no data into it, but we're going to add some data into it. So I'm just going to name stuff right now. So the columns, what are they going to be called? So for example, the first one is going to be name, the person's name, the task that they have to do, and maybe the status of the task. Okay, if I could type status and maybe the email of the person. Okay,
Yes.
so I'm going to make this into a table. Okay, so let's create it as a table. There we go. I just used the shortcut Control T. It creates a table. So let's say Hatim. Okay, and the
Yes.
task is actually Hatim's wife contacted me. Hatim has been a bad person. He hasn't been taking the trash out. So let's make him take the trash out. Take out the trash.
That's really in my to-do list today.
So okay. So let's expand this a bit. And the status is not complete. Okay.
Yeah.
And the email that I'm gonna put for Hatim is just
So you can
Hatim.
put my at live.in.
For now we'll just use like some random
Yes.
email assuming that there is. So let's just say there's me too, wash the dishes. Okay, and it is let's say it's completed. Okay,
Yes.
if I could spell complete, and Taswar. Okay, so there's no Taswar.com, but you get
Cool.
the idea. You can name
Yes.
out whatever you want and all that stuff. So now I'm going to save this, save as. I'm going to save it to my OneDrive. I'm going to put it in, let's see, Power Automate, and I'm going to call it To Do. Okay, To
Cool.
Do and save. Here you go. So everything is done. We got our data. We could let's say there's 100 of them, then or 100 different people that we need to email out. We could actually do that too. But let's just use two examples. So now, okay, we got the data. How do we actually make it automated so it could do all this stuff? So that's when we actually move to Power Automate. So here I'm at Power Automate, and I'm going to click on Create. I'm going to choose the Instant Cloud Flow and manual trigger or flow, and I'm going to click on create. Okay, so now we have a manual trigger of a flow, and I wanted to actually, hey, I got to read this Excel spreadsheet, right? So I'm gonna ask Copilot to help me out with it. I don't know how to read it, so I'm gonna say, get me a rows of data from an spreadsheet spreadsheet from my OneDrive, for example. Because remember we
Yes.
stored it in a OneDrive. There we go. Let's hit it and see what does it recommend right now. So I could pick on this one. I clicked on it. So
Yes.
there you go. Menu trigger. It actually created me a list of tables and rows. So if I click on this, now you can see it's automatically connected to my OneDrive. So I could
Nice.
actually tell it to to actually use my OneDrive, the library, and the file that I want to use. So what I've done is basically went to my OneDrive, from my OneDrive library. I've put in the Power Automate to do, and I picked the table that I wanted. So you'll see
Yes.
that the flow becomes green, basically. So in some ways, what I've done is grab the information of the to do, and now I could
Yes.
actually go through the list. So how do I actually go through manually, sort of thing? Let's go back to Copilot and figure out that. So it's if you're in programming, it's actually called a for loop, right?
For loop. Yes.
So exactly. So we could actually add me an action of a loop afterwards. For example, you just do that. Let's see what it is. What does it suggest?
Yeah. That is so
Work.
cool to to have Copilot help you in these steps.
So it has a to do over here, but I also kind of want to I want to loop through it, but I want to add some kind of a condition. There's actually other loops too here. It's you see other actions.
Yes.
There's a do until. So
Yes.
until it's almost like until a certain condition is met. But
Correct.
actually, I wanted to go through everything. It's not like a condition is met. There are other loops too. I could remove this. So we could click on undo and it will revert back for us. So I believe there was something called apply loop. Let's see the apply loop. So there you go. There's a for each loop. Let's choose this one. Let's add to it. And it actually automatically picked up something like send an email. So it somehow kind of figured it out. But I wanted to have a condition, right? Because remember how we said
Yes.
the Excel tells us completed, not completed. There's no point in sending a reminder to somebody saying that, hey, you know what?
Your
You've
task is
completed
complete.
the task, right? so
Correct.
so let's add a condition inside the loop for each loop and check the condition to be check I believe it was status
Yes.
the field to say not completed and then send an email. Let's just say that. Let's see what happens. Let's see what Copilot says. It's working on it. So there you go. So in each
Amazing.
for loop, there is a condition, true or false. Basically, if it's true, let's take a look at the true. What happens? Let's look at the condition. So actually, it didn't add, but it did add the email, but it didn't add the condition for us.
Condition
So
to it. Yeah.
let us actually add the condition specifically. So you could see that inside of here, like we have the status. Remember the name,
Correct.
task, status. So status is equal to not completed.
I think still the
Yeah, if I could only spell today. So as you can see, I've put in the status and then it would send out an email. So if it's false, I don't
yes.
care about it because
Correct.
the person has already done the task. What I want to do is actually figure out that they haven't done the task. Then I want to send them an email. So I could click on the email and I could actually pick up the value of the email from the list too at the same time. You have a task due, for example, and over here I could pick it up. Hi. Again, I could say name. Hi, name. You have a task due, and I could actually put in the task too. So what is the task right here? Please complete it as soon as possible. Just like that. And for the email, let's see. There you go. So here I could pick up the email too. So I could say email, and then it would automatically generate the mail. And you could have like you have a task due. What is the task? And then you could say, please complete it as possible. There is also actually the advanced options too. So I'm going to show all. So let's say that in the Excel spreadsheet, I also had the manager's information. Let's say Hatim's wife that's in there. I could actually CC her too. I could put in the value and actually CC her too. Say Hatim is doing a task and he hasn't completed, and she would get CC the message too. So I mean, all of this could be automated. Let me just save this, and we could use the flow checker to make sure that every flow is going fine.
Cool.
There's no errors, so we're good. And now we could actually test it too. Now remember that our test was like the emails were not correct. So I mean they're not valid emails. So it won't be able to send out. But this is as simple as it gets in order for you to actually use Copilot and actually create something out of it to actually automate your boring stuff. Let's put it boring. But you made it exciting by actually automating it. So now you have the boring stuff automated, and it would automatically send out. It won't send out to the people who have completed tasks. It would only send it out to the people who haven't completed tasks. You could like think about it if you're a manager or something like that. You could send out this email. Hey, you know what? I need this action to be done, sort of thing. If you could complete it. Now, as a programmer, if I had to do this in Python, I would have to think about how do I use a library to pick up the data from Excel, read it, either like pandas or whatever library that you're using in Python. I would have to loop through it. And on top of it, I would have to find out a way to connect to my environment to send out an email too, either Gmail or whatever system you're using, Outlook, to send out this email. I didn't actually have to do any of that stuff. Everything was connected automatically because I'm using my enterprise environment, which has Power Automate. Everything is connected. I just had to put my data into OneDrive, and the email is actually going to be sent out automatically by Outlook. So
that is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, that's amazing. And the best part which I liked about it is, and I'll tell you one of my previous experiences. So when I started with Power Automate, it was hard for me to first understand which exact connectors should I use in which scenario. And now I think the Copilot is actually helping us to pick and choose from all those thousands of connectors which are available and just give us the right connector which can use. So I'll give you an example for Excel. You have like around 10 or 15 connectors, and sometimes you get confused. If I want to take a table, if I want to take a list of rows, what exactly would I do? And that's exactly how Copilot is supporting us. And this is so good. It's so good to understand.
Exactly. It's very simple, and you could actually fully understand. Now, speaking about like all these other stuff, so we could say click an action, but you could see like there's so many of them, and you get confused as you put it. Like, okay, what am I supposed to do? I mean, it gives you the power. Like, there's a lot of power to this. Like, I mean, what could you potentially do? But at the same time, you could search for it. But Copilot would actually suggest you like which are the ones that you're supposed to use.
Correct, 100%.
Yeah.
No,
so
that was
my demo to today.
Yes.
I wanted to show this.
Cool. I think it was a great demo, Taswar, and I hope all the audiences liked it, because right now it's the era of copilots, and that's how it is making you more productive. And go ahead and try it out. Please let us know your feedback in the comments. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us. And thank you, Taswar, for doing such a great demo. And thank you everyone for joining us for today's show.
And remember to like and subscribe.
And yes, remember to like and subscribe.
Okay,
have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.